You and I have both experienced that pain. You strive for your justice, and I strive for mine.
And what's going on, Read My Lips people? We are back. Back like we ain't ever left, baby. So look, first things first. I had probably like a 40-minute interview with Russell from Grassroots Yang Gang, or what he's better known as now, American Dystopia. I'm going to leave a link in the description. Please go check out that interview. Towards the end, he also had an interview with Mr. Humanity Gives on there as well. Check them both out. Dope interviews. And show my brother some support. Now, that being said, what brings us to today's topic? I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen. I know I first saw it on the Zach and Matt show. I know Russell from Grassroots hit me up with it. Msnbc is embracing universal basic income.
Shut up!
Yeah.
Well, hot damn. That's that came out of left field. Not something that I expected at all. But before I continue any further, let's take a look at the video and then come back.
Despite arguments about how and when to reopen America, there are signs of progress in the battle against coronavirus. Some major centers possibly beyond their peaks in infections and deaths, potential vaccines, drug trials moving forward, all steps toward a return to normalcy. The question is what normal or a new normal will look like. This pandemic has changed us. We know that the future is going to look different from the past and that some things will change and some things must change. I have a friend who says that the day before something is truly a breakthrough, it's a crazy idea. And crazy ideas are very risky to attempt. But here's one crazy idea that may be worth attempting now. Universal basic income. UBI is a big deal. It's a big idea. There are lots of versions of it, but it goes something like this. Every citizen, regardless of their employment status, gets a modest income from the state, no strings attached, which allows them to live above the poverty line. Taxpayer dollars that cut through the bureaucracy of means testing and proof that what you're doing is of value to society. Not only serves those who fall through the cracks in society, but think of increasing numbers of caregivers, gig workers, contract workers, part-time workers, freelancers, home workers, people who care for their children, most of whom receive no health care or child care benefits through their employers, benefits that most of the developed world consider to be basic rights. More than 3/4 of American workers live paycheck to paycheck. More than half earn shockingly low wages. 40 million Americans are food insecure, and our already highly automated society is about to get more automated. In 29 states, truck driving is the most common job, yet we're working in overdrive to eliminate those jobs with self-driving vehicles. Even Foxconn, which makes your iPhones, is replacing its low-wage workers with robots. In an increasing number of physical stores, you don't need to interact with a human to do your business. More people enter the workforce every year, but more jobs ultimately will not. Universal basic income has its critics and its detractors, mostly those who say it'll cost too much, promote unemployment, or worse, laziness, and that it's unsustainable. But let me put it to you this way. If UBI could happen at no additional cost to you, would you support the idea? Just last week, the Pope wrote, "This may be the time to consider a universal basic wage which would acknowledge and dignify the noble essential tasks you carry out." While America is on pause, we've got a moment to think about rebuilding our damaged house. Let's make it a home for those for whom the American dream is unattainable.
Well, that was unexpected, to say the least. But I am happy to see it. Look, at some point, they're going to have to acknowledge that this is what people want. At some point, they're going to have to acknowledge that this is what people need. Wages have been stagnant since the 1970s. You understand? And look, I get the spirit of the $15 minimum wage. I get it. I completely understand that. But even that is minuscule compared to what it should be. And nothing shows more than the situation that we're in now, that the American people need a pick-me-up. And my channel, along with a lot of the other OG Yang channels, what have we been hammering home for the longest? Universal basic income. What has Andrew Yang been hammering home for the longest? Universal basic income. I actually remember. Let me know if you guys remember this. It was the debate, and Andrew Yang was proposing $1,000 for every American. And do you remember Pete and Kamala smugly laughing at him? This guy. Well, that's original. Do you remember that?
It's original. I'll give you that.
Comment below if you guys remember that. So smug. So smug. So full of themselves. Especially Kamala. Like, oh, so smug. And now here we are. MSNBC. They're talking about, yeah, we kind of want a UBI. My, how the tables have turned. My, how the tables have turned. I reference him often because I feel like he's right a lot. But Kyle Kalinske had said something. Bernie Sanders failed. Bernie Sanders failed this time around, right? But the one thing he did achieve is there's going to be a whole bunch more Bernie Sanders-esque figures popping up, right? The same thing can be said for Andrew Yang, right? There are going to be a plethora of Andrew Yang-esque figures popping up. And there's going to be a ton of people running in the future. And running right now, actually. But even in the future, who's going to be talking about a UBI or a universal basic income or some UBI in some way, shape, or form. Right? I didn't get involved with it because I didn't want to bang my head against that wall at the time, but I saw there was a kind of a thread going on Twitter. I don't remember the original poster saying, should we cap UBI? They want to do UBI, but we should cap it for people making a certain amount. I didn't want to delve into that conversation, but it's pretty much the exact opposite of what Andrew Yang was talking. Andrew Yang was saying everybody should get it. That way it's not looked at as a welfare program or something along those lines. Everybody should just get it, full stop. The rich people that get it, they'll just wipe their ass with it. Whatever. But the people that need it, they're going to get it. And you're going to see a ton of people, just like how Medicare for All was sort of construed in multiple different ways. Medicare for all who want it, Medicare this, Medicare that. You're going to see in the very near future, hear me now, quote me later, different versions of UBI coming from all sorts of different candidates. Just bear in mind that I said that, and then keep your ears open and you'll see. And look, I welcome it. I welcome it because the conversation is open up. Before, it wasn't even being thought of, right? The approval ratings for UBI, the ratio was astronomical of people who didn't want it. It's increased immensely. And so, look, MSNBC, good on you. Good conversation piece. I'm happy that you guys are taking this more serious than I think you ever have. CNN, they're probably taking it more serious as well, since they've had Andrew Yang there to sort of be the other voice in the room. I think they are even going to take it more serious. It's not looked at as fringe. At one point, it was really looked at as fringe. And I guess that's the biggest take I want you guys to get from MSNBC, being down for UBI, is that it was once looked at as fringe, giving the American people $1,000 a month. And now it's just, a normal talking point. Man, come on now. That's major. And so we should be proud. Yang should be proud. I covered, not yesterday, but the day before, Scott Stanton's sent the letter to the Congress saying to text UBI and what have you. We're making leaps and bounds, and you might not even realize it. Though he suspended his campaign, we're still pushing through. We're still pushing forward, and that's dope. And I appreciate all of you and for what you do to help push this forward as well. Yang gang. So the second thing, I dropped a video yesterday, and it was Yang Unleashes His Potential. And it received a ton of great feedback, and I'm glad you guys liked it. It was just something different from the norm that I wanted to give to you guys. And, you know, I wanted to put a smile on your face, and it did for a lot of you, put a smile on your face, and that's dope. I'm glad it had some sort of effect. Now, here's what I need from you. I want Andrew Yang to see this. Some of you were in the comment section saying, yo, Yang needs to see this. The way you can see that is through you guys. So if you guys tweet that video at Andrew Yang, as much as you can tweet it at him as possible, the more likely he'll see it. He has 1.4 million followers, so it's not easy for him to catch things like that. Even with the amount of followers I have, it can be hard to see things and miss it. So I know it's got to be tough for him. He's probably getting tweeted all the time, constantly. But if you guys can do that, tweet that at him. I really want him. I really want to see his take on it. I want Evelyn to see it as well. But I just want to say thank you for showing that video some love. It was different. I didn't even know if I wanted to put it out because, you know, we get accustomed to doing a certain thing, and when you obscure from that certain thing that you do, sometimes it doesn't always work out. So this time it did work out, and you guys dug it, and I appreciate you. So if you can, tweet at Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang unleashes his potential, and see if he can beat perfect Donald Trump. And now, in other news, have you heard the news, ladies and gentlemen? Have you heard it? Andrew Yang next Monday will launch Yang Speaks, his podcast. I actually have some audio of him announcing it. We're going to listen to that, and then we're going to come back.
Hello, America. I'm Andrew Yang, and yes, I'm starting a podcast. 1 year ago, you never heard of me, but now the biggest ideas I ran for president on are front and center in our country today. Universal basic income to help us pay our bills in this tough time, and even common sense stuff like finally getting rid of daylight savings time. And this is not a politics podcast because I'm not much of a politician. As you can tell, I lost. What we need are real solutions that will actually improve our lives every single day. That's what I'm interested in. That's what I think you're interested in. And me and some of the biggest figures in culture, technology, sports, business, and entertainment are going to get together and help figure out what's coming next. There are going to be some people I talk to that you never heard of, just some fascinating randos, but I can guarantee you they will be fascinating as they are random. Yang Speaks, the newest podcast you never knew you needed, but now you're going to love. Find it where you find all of your other podcasts. We're not going to hide it from you. So please do check out Yang Speaks on Apple, Spotify, radio.com, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. Let's talk about the future and let's make it work for us. Yang Gang out.
So, yeah, this is, I mean, we knew it was coming. We knew the podcast was coming. When he first announced it, I covered it. I did a video on it. And, I mean, look, it's just something we're going to tune into. It's just something we're going to listen to. Who do you think the first guest will be on Yang Speaks? I haven't seen him drop anything on who the first guest is. But it should be very interesting. Like I said, I'm sure we're all going to tune into it. I'm sure we're all going to have many conversations about it. I'm sure I'm going to have even more videos to make now in reference to what's happening on Yang Speaks, or, scenarios of situations of people he's spoken to on here. I'm going to have my work cut out for me now, because now we're having more Yang than we've ever had before with this podcast. Who would you like to see on there? I'm very curious as to who you guys would like to see on Yang Speaks. I'm not getting on. It would be if I got on, that would be dope. But I don't know, man. He's gonna he's having all sorts of people. It's not even necessarily people in the Yang gang. It's gonna be all sorts of people on there that he's speaking to. And I listen to Joe Rogan's podcast, and this just added to something else that I can listen to. What I would do is I would listen to podcasts, and I would listen to books on audio while I'm at the gym, while I'm on the bike at the gym or on the treadmill. And this would be something that I would listen to. Unfortunately, the gym is still closed because it's a pandemic outside. But, in the near future, this is something that will help me out when I'm working out or trying to stay focused. So let me know if you guys will be tuning in Monday to listen to Yang Speaks. I think it's going to be pretty dope. Yeah, that's probably about it, guys. I saw trending was impeached President Trump on Twitter. What's people, nothing of substance. It's all complaint, it's pretty much all just complaining, they just don't like him. They just don't like him morally. He doesn't have the right morals. That's pretty much what I've been seeing there. It's all fluff. I don't see anybody putting out any policy. He did this policy, and this policy affected X, Y, and Z. And I don't know why he did that. That was a horrible choice. It's none of that. I spoke a little bit about it with Russell earlier in the podcast I did today with him. You might not like it, guys, but Trump might remain your POTUS, man. I'm telling you. I know you're trending impeach Trump. I know I get it. But there's a high probability he will remain your POTUS. I'm telling you. And I know some of you are probably freaking out in the comment section right now, stop it. I've seen people when me and Russell were talking, they were saying in the sidebar, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure he doesn't remain POTUS. Godspeed. But it ain't looking too good. It's not looking too good. I just found that was an interesting trend. Impeached Trump. Impeached President Trump. At least they're calling him president. For a long time, there were those, not my president. Not my president. My president's still Barack Obama. He's not your president anymore. This is my president. He's not your president anymore. Jesus. Okay. So that's it. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Not a long video today, but all very relevant subjects. Again, let me know in the comment section your thoughts. I always love to hear from you guys. So if you like what you see, if you like what you hear, please hip thrust that like button. Just like, comment, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. If you don't, let me know in the comment section why. I'm always down to talk about it. I have a Cash App, a PayPal, and a Venmo link in the description below. Please feel free to donate to the channel. Every little bit helps. Hopefully I'll be talking to you guys soon. Have a good one. Peace.
no need to fight tonight, tonight. Fucked and drank all night. I did all alright. Had no need to fight tonight, tonight. Cast me far.